Announcements make the world a better place. Hell, some announcements are so big you get an announcement for the announcement. Like when Vince McMahon announced that he would announce who would be controlling Monday Night Raw at Payback. Even saying that is confusing. But as we've just had a massive announcement that WhatCulture will be creating its own wrestling promotion, the WCPW, that has sent the industry into a frenzy, what better time to embrace the magnitude of such events than with this very video? I'm the bald-headed dude from WhatCulture, and this is the 10 biggest wrestling announcements ever. Number 10. The Rock announces his return to the ring. While Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson loves to tell us he's never going away again, he really likes to keep going away. The last time we saw him, for example, was when he set fire to his own name at WrestleMania 32. What on earth was that about? The man is a master at getting people all hyped up though, a highlight of which definitely came when he not only announced he'd be getting back in the ring, but that he would fight John Cena a year later at WrestleMania 28. It was a huge deal at the time and something that had rarely been seen in the world of pro wrestling. Then he went away again. Unsurprisingly, he didn't announce that. Number 9. Vince McMahon announces that Bret screwed Bret. Bret Hart did not screw Bret Hart. You can look at it from as many angles as you'd like, but it was definitely Vince McMahon who marched to the ring and stopped a work contest for real. That would be like your boss saying it was fine to eat sandwiches during a lunch break, and then super kicking you in the face when you went to put one in your mouth. Not one to be moved though, Vince booked time on Raw to chat with JR to announce that he didn't screw Bret. Bret screwed himself. A now infamous promo, McMahon conducted it while still suffering from a black eye the Hitman had given him after the fact. Number 8. Paul Bearer announced The Undertaker has a brother. Say what you want to about Kane, the build-up to his reveal was awesome. It was so good, I vividly remember listening to Paul Bearer announce the news to The Undertaker through my nan's prehistoric skybox that just had static on the screen. That's right, I was so enthralled, even just hearing the words was enough. It was a major angle at the time, however. Who was Kane? And what had The Undertaker done in his family home to cause such devastation? It culminated perfectly when the Big Red Machine made his debut at Bad Blood in 1997, ripping the Hell in a Cell door off its hinges and costing the Dead Man his match with Shawn Michaels. It was less great when later he chokeslammed the Phenom through his parents' caskets. Number 7. Daniel Bryan announces his retirement. Called by some as one of the most emotional moments in Raw history, it's easy to see why, Daniel Bryan announcing his retirement at only 34 hit everyone straight in the heart. A man who was clearly passionate and dedicated to pro wrestling, seeing that taken away at such a young age was hard to take. It was made all the worse by what he achieved before his injury-ridden couple of years. The king of WrestleMania 30, and surely the only man who could have cheered up an, oh my gosh, Undertaker lost crowd. His honest and powerful speech is something every wrestling fan owes it to themselves to see. Number 6. Vince McMahon announces wrestling is fake. Before we go on, wrestling is not fake. It's very real and the matches are predetermined. We all know this, but using the word fake just sounds punchier as a headline. Wind the clocks back to February 10th, 1989, and Vinnie Mac did indeed march his way to the state of New Jersey Senate and announce to them that wrestling was an activity in which participants struggle hand in hand primarily for the purpose of providing entertainment to spectators rather than conducting a bona fide athletic contest. Or in short, it's fake. Why did he do this? Because he wanted wrestling to be removed from regulations that had been applied by the Athletics Commission and save some sweet cash along with a few other tidbits. Given pro wrestling wasn't a sport per se, it shouldn't have to be treated as such. And by Jove, everyone agreed. Good for you, Vince. Number 5. Hulk Hogan and the Outsiders announced the NWO. 1996 never sounds cool on paper. That's when you had the likes of the Spice Girls and Hanson hanging around. Carlito would have spat Apple in their face quicker than Yokozuna's title reign at the end of WrestleMania 10. But on July 7th, 1996 at Bash at the Beach, Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash did announce that they had come together to form the New World Order. A pivotal moment in pro wrestling history was the main reason WCW managed to rise to the top of the pile, and the reason it eventually died. Number 4. Shane McMahon announces he owns WCW. On the subject of WCW dying, no one who lived through it will ever forget the night Raw and Nitro were on 2 different channels and yet completely linked in terms of content. The escalation to all this was Shane McMahon popping up on WCW TV, which is the equivalent of Superman appearing in an Avengers movie and punching Captain America straight in his head. If this wasn't shock enough, Shane O went on to announce the ink on the contract wouldn't read Vince McMahon, but would have his name scrawled in place instead. It sent chills up every wrestling fan's spine, and then the invasion angle ruined everything. I mean seriously, what was that? Number 3. WWE announces the return of ECW. Hindsight makes the announcement of ECW's return seem horrible. WWE's brand of extreme entertainment was nothing like Paul Heyman's original concept, and it was soon obvious this was just a third McMahon brand rather than anything truly different. In fact, they should have made it like NXT is today, but that's for another time. Way back in 2006 though, WWE proudly stating that they were bringing back ECW was gargantuan. Everyone wanted to believe that it would essentially be the show they remembered and loved, only this time on the scale it had always deserved. Then a zombie walked down the aisle and that was the end of that dream. Ah well. Number 2. Vince announces that wrestling is fake. Again. Seriously, Vince, what's the deal? For a man with a family committed to kayfabe, you sure do love pulling back that curtain at every chance you get. And that's exactly what he did in late 1997. In a promo before an episode of Raw, McMahon told the audience that not only was he the owner of the then WWF, but that the direction he was taking the product was no longer going to feature good guys versus bad guys. Hang on, you mean to tell me you've been yanking my chain this whole time, Vince? Dubbed forever as the Shades of Grey speech, it was actually an ingenious move by the CEO. Sensing a war was coming, Vince let everyone know that a more adult and edgy show was on the way. He wasn't lying. And just look where we are today. Number 1. The announcement of Kings. It was just another Wednesday that seemed as pointless as Fandango. But then, from depths that no man dares to tread came a rumbling that soon evolved into an unstoppable force and smashed through the immovable object. Adam Pacitti delivered the words no WhatCulture fan will ever forget. WCPW, WhatCulture Pro Wrestling. Hold on tight. Because things will never be the same again. Well, they will, but they'll be better now, because this is going to be awesome. Make sure you come and see WCPW's first live show for yourself on the 16th of June. Tickets are available from shop.whatculture.com, where you can also find full venue and timing details. There's also a selection of special tickets on sale for a meet and greet with your favourite WhatCulture personalities, such as Adam Blampier, Adam Pacitti, Jack the Jobber King, Kenny McIntosh, Susie Kennedy, and more. So make sure you do all of that and then let us know in the comments below just how excited you are. Then come tell me on Twitter at SimonMiller316. I'm Simon from WhatCulture, and a whole new era of pro wrestling is about to rise up.